Hello, I'm here to tell you how you can use the two-column notes approach to make and explain inferences or draw conclusions. That is, making a judgment about what you've read and then providing details to support your point of view. Okay, well, here we have a reading similar to one that I did another example for about bike helmets are cool. Are they really? Yeah, they are actually. Okay, so let's say you're given this assignment to analyze or think about or be prepared to talk about this article. And so you're going to want to create notes while you read it. So if you're like me, you'll do it online and you'll do it on a Google Doc. Of course, you can do this on paper. Just fold the paper in half. But for our circumstances, we're going to want to use a table chart. But before we do that, a good student will always, write their name on their notes so that if they get lost, of course it's online, it's not necessarily going to get lost. But if you did it on paper, you'd want to have your name. So I'll just put Milton Bradley. There we go. Just making up a name for fun. Yes, that's a toy company. Okay. And then, of course, you would put the date. There we go. And then you would go topic. And what is this all about? Oh, yes. Bicycle safety. And it's about helmets. Okay. All right. Did I misspell that? Yes, I misspelled that. Okay. Of course, if these were notes just for me, just to get me ready for the discussion, do I really need to worry about spelling? No. But, I'm a stickler. I gotta have it right. So now I'm going to go ahead and make my two charts. Like I said, if this was on paper, you would fold the paper in half, like creating a taco shell. But in this case, I'm just going to make a table. And let's see now. Again, time to pick a number. How many paragraphs do I have to really talk about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm not going to include this last sentence here, so 6. So I'm going to insert a table. I'm going to make it 2 columns, and I will make it 7 because I'm going to create a heading for you to understand what I'm doing in each column. There we go. There. Now, what you would put in the first column, let me kind of zoom in a little better here. There we go. So what we put in the first column is a response, a free response. Remember, a free response is your reaction to whatever you've read. It's your point of view. It's, in this case, an inference. Namely, you read something and you draw a conclusion. You make a judgment about what you've read. So here, this is for inferences. Or, to put it another way, your response to the reading. Oops. Okay. Now the next column, oftentimes when we give a reaction or express a belief, someone obviously says why. So you're going to want to cite evidence. So this column is for your evidence that supports your inference. Okay? And I always suggest that you do at least 2. Because if you do 1, someone might say, well, what about this fact or that fact? And that can get a little tricky. If you get 2, you're more likely to support and make your point of view understandable and clear, and perhaps less likely to be challenged. So let's do an example for the first paragraph. So let me zoom back up here. Oops. There it is. Bike helmets are cool. I had to ask, really? Well, let's see what it says here. I'm going to read this section here. There are 28 million children ages 5 to 14 who ride bicycles in this country. Riding bicycles is fun and good exercise when you ride safely. Unfortunately, each year, thousands of children are disabled or die as a result of bike accidents. Experts say wearing one piece of safety equipment, a helmet, can help save children. Okay, so what's my reaction to this? I don't know if bicycle helmets are cool, but they are important. So that's kind of my response to that. Bicycle helmets are important. Okay. Notice this is not the same as 2-column notes in that you would just put a word or two in this box. And here I'm putting my response, my judgment. Now I'm going to find evidence to support that. Why are helmets important? I think we unfortunately saw a lot of reasons. First of all, millions of children ride bicycles. Okay? Millions of children ride bicycles. And what else says? Each year, thousands of children are disabled or die as a result of bike accidents. Since this is a digital document, I'm going to be sneaky. I highlighted, selected what I wanted to quote, Control C, and I'll put it right here, Control V. Each year, thousands of children. Oh, I could fix that. But you know what? Now, because this is really for your reference, and yes, teachers would be really impressed that you have an exact quote as to what supports your judgment. If you're doing an exact quote, put a quotation mark at the beginning and end of the quote so that both you, when you're maybe sharing it with your class, or your teacher, if you had to turn in your notes, can see that it's a direct quote. All right. So if we go on to the next paragraph about helmets, let's see what it says. Today's bike helmets are lightweight and comfortable. They also have a styrofoam pad that protects the head. Safe helmets have a Consumer Product Safety Commission sticker inside. This means it has been tested for safety, but if a helmet has been in a crash, it should be replaced. Damaged helmets lose their ability to absorb shock. So let's see now. I would say, I really feel like you should say something about helmets. If damaged helmets lose their ability to absorb shock and they have styrofoam in them. So I'm going to make the conclusion that how a helmet is made matters. That's my inference, okay? And now I'm going to want to say there's styrofoam. There's a styrofoam pad to protect the head. I'm going to copy that. Control C, Control V, because after all, this is about how it's made. I'm putting a direct quote. Oh, that's really odd. There we go. All right. Now I do want to bring up this other point here, this detail. Damaged helmets lose their ability to absorb shock. So I'm going to say damaged helmets can't absorb a second accident. And that's my detail, and that's true, right? It's pretty much what it's saying, but I'm putting it in my own words. So that's why I'm not putting a direct quote. Okay, so that's how we use the two-column approach to make inferences and support them based on what you're reading, so that you can be better prepared to talk about a reading in class. Again, the first column is going to be your inferences, your judgments, your response to what you've written. And then in the second column, have evidence and get it right, either a direct quote from the reading or just a tidbit of information that you got from the reading. And again, if you have two, you're more likely to be firmer in the truth of your position. It's going to be hard to argue with someone when they have more than one piece of evidence. Okay, so that's how you use two-column notes to make an inference.